Alright, today we're going to be talking about multiplying by ones, tens, hundreds, and thousands. And the Common Core standard we're looking at today is explaining patterns in the number of zeros of the product when multiplying a number of powers of 10. So we're going to start off easy. 3 times 1, again, is 3. 3 times 10 is 30. 3 times 100 is 300. And 3 times 1,000 is 3,000. So what I want you to do now is pause the video and try to come up with your own pattern or rule. So again, just pause the video right now and come up with your own pattern or rule. All right, hopefully you thought of an own rule, a rule. Now let's just do another one together. 3 times 2 is 6. 3 times 20 is 60. 3 times 200 is 600. And 3 times 2,000 is 6,000. Now again, pause the video and see if your rule still works for this set of numbers as it did for the last set. Alright, hopefully you found out that your rule did work. And the rule that we are doing, it's kind of a zero trick. I like to call it the zero trick. What you can do, notice if there is 1 0 here, there's 1 0 at the end of the 6. If there are 2 zeros, there are 2 zeros at the end. And 3 zeros, there's 3 zeros and at the 6. So here's the kind of the pattern. Here's kind of the trick I like to do when you're multiplying these. You might not be able to do 3 times 200 in your head. But what you could do, or even 3 times 20, what you could do. So what I like to do, I like to cover the zeros up. So then we just have 3 times 2. 3 times 2 is 6. And then we have 1 0 right here left over. So our answer is 60. Same for 3 times 200. Again, I'll cover up these 2 zeros. 3 times 2 is 6. So I can write my 6 in. I can write my 6 in. And then I have 2 zeros left over, so I can just add my 2 zeros there at the very end. Exact same thing I would do for 3 times 2,000. I'd cover up the zeros. 3 times 2 again is 6. And then count how many are left over. In this case, there's 3. So we would just add 3 zeros to the end. So our answer would be 6,000. So let's practice. What I want you to do now is do the set. So what I want you to do now is pause the video and do this set right here. 2 times 2, 2 times 20, 2 times 200, and 2 times 2,000. Just do this one right now. Pause the video and do that. Alright, hopefully you did that and you used the zero trick, which I said you should do. 2 times 2, we don't really need to use the zero trick, is 4. Again, for this one, we cover up the 0. 2 times 2 is 4. We have 1 0 at the end, so it's 40. Again, cover up the zeros. 2 times 2 is 4. We have 2 zeros at the end, so it's going to be 400. And finally, cover up the zeros. 2 times 2 again is 4. And we have 3 zeros at the end, so our answer is going to be 4,000. For this set to the right, now watch this. This one looks a little differently. If you notice, we have a 0 here and a 0 here. The rule is going to stay the exact same. So if we have 10 times 2, 10 times 2 is 20. Again, all I'm going to do for 10 times 20, you say, well, I can't do that one in my head. Yes, you can. Cover up the 0 here. Cover up the 0 here. What is 1 times 2? Well, 1 times 2 is 2. And count how many zeros you covered up. You covered up this 0 here and this 0 here. So that's 2 zeros. So you'd put 2 zeros at the end of your answer. So your answer would be 200. Next one, 10 times 200. You're thinking, wow, I really can't do that one in my head. Well, yes, you can. As long as you know 1 times 2, you're perfect. 1 times 2 is 2. Again, we're covering up those zeros with our fingers. And then we count the zeros that we covered up. 1, 2, 3. So in this case, we'd add 3 zeros at the end. So our answer is 2,000. And then finally, 10 times 2,000. We cover up the 10. We cover up the 0 there. We cover up there. 1 times 2 again is 2. We uncover the zeros. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So our answer is 20,000. What I want you to do now is pause the video at the bottom and do this green set on your own. Right, hopefully you did this green set in your home. We're just going to go over this quickly. 20 times 2 is 40. 20 times 20 would have been, hopefully you got your answer of 400. 20 times 200, again, the numbers are getting a little bigger, so you might want to cover them up. 2 times 2 is 4. We have 3 zeros left over. $4,000. Then finally, 20 times 2,000 is 4. We have 4 zeros left over. 1, 2, 3, 4. We get 40,000. And that's how you multiply by ones, tens, hundreds, and thousands.